Hi everyone. Alright, after some thought, I've decided I will do a video where I talk about The Last of Us Part 2 and give my thoughts. A lot of the discourse about this game has been dogmatic, and it's hard to parse substantive arguments from the rhetoric. You've got Camp A with opinion B, Camp B with opinion Y, and that's to say nothing of Camp C. It's all getting to be a bit much. So I thought I'd just give my clear and concise thoughts, so you'll at least know where I stand.
How would you rate our kiss from last night?
But first, for the sake of the arguments I'm going to make, we need a little background about Michel Foucault, Albert Camus, Roland Barthes, and Jacques Derrida, four dead French thinkers responsible for various interesting theories in the schools of thought of post-structuralism, deconstruction, absurdism, and, in the case of Barthes, the popular death of the author. These schools of thought can help elucidate the positions I'm going to take on The Last of Us Part 2, and by extension, maybe even video gaming on the whole.
Tell me about it.
To quote Foucault, knowledge is not for knowing, knowledge is for cutting. To begin, we must first separate what we know of the text of Last of Us 2 from the paratext of our own subjective realities, our lives and knowledge of our lives and experiences as we know and experience them. What we know about, say, the making of an artwork, and our experiential enjoyment of said artwork, or similar artworks, can unpack a lot for us about our cognitive processing of that artwork. Are we or are we not in the place, mentally speaking, to accept and process an artwork on the terms the artwork is asking us to accept and process it? Does this matter? Do we have any responsibility to the artwork or to its creators to process it in the way they want us to, or is the art effectively ours? Which brings us to Roland Barthes and the death of the author, which basically argues against incorporating an author's personal life and intentions, or perceived intentions, in the interpretation of their works. Barthes argues that a work of art should be viewed in a vacuum and that paratextual elements should not be included in the work, but one might argue that it's difficult to separate the paratextual, the metatextual, from the textual. The textural makeup of a work often contains statements on the world from which it was birthed, whether intentional or not. But is it irresponsible, or a betrayal of subjectivity to assume or inject what we presume an author's intent may have been upon a work? If we are all prisoners of our own perceptive lenses, which, naturally, we are, is objective understanding of art or another person's intentions even possible?
No, this is a sacrifice lamb.
Derrida once said, "I speak only one language, and it is not my own." Do any of us speak our own tongue, either literally or metaphorically? Or are we all subject to an external oppressor? Is the structuring of thought through experience, through language, through education, a sort of shackle? Are we willingly or unwittingly walking deeper and deeper into the prison of society with each experience? Can we free ourselves of the tyranny of our own thought to truly experience the artistic creations of another human being? As Camus said, man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. Why do we struggle against the gift of our own birth with the systematic destruction of our objectivity? Another Camus quote, "You will never be happy if you continue to search for what happiness consists of. You will never live if you are looking for the meaning of life."
All right. You all know the drill.
This interrogation of meaning is an important part of absurdism, of existentialism, and of art criticism. There seems, to me, to be a fear in asking the perhaps forbidden question, what if it doesn't mean anything? And what if something was intended to mean something, but doesn't? And what if our interpretation is incorrect, or too personal? Are we a criminal for killing the author and interpreting a work incorrectly? Is it indeed possible to even have an incorrect interpretation of a work of art?
Watch your backs.
But enough questions. Questions are not why you're here. You're here for answers, or at least to hear my opinions on a video game. I would be remiss if I didn't at first outline my own personal sentiments before diving into the proverbial nitty-gritty of this particular work of interactive fiction, so let me be remiss. What we have here is a game that places one in control of a digital avatar or avatars via the means of digitally interpreting electrical signals inputted digitally via the hands, wherein said avatar or avatars encounter falsified representations of human beings. These fictional beings, characters as it were, strutting and fretting their hours upon their stage to then be heard no more once the credits roll or the controller is set down. The characters have names such as Ellie or Abby or Dina or Jesse or Joel. But perhaps the real name they carry is Neil, unless one subscribes to the above-mentioned theory by Barth, in which case their names would indeed be Ellie, Abby, Dina, Jesse, etc.
I give you guys 2 weeks until you're back together.
Not gonna happen.
In the game, you undertake a series of challenges, unveil a predetermined narrative, and succeed by finishing or winning the game. 3 more Albert Camus quotes. Nobody realizes that some people expend tremendous energy merely to be normal. Live to the point of tears. Should I kill myself or have a cup of coffee? And a 4th, you know what charm is, a way of getting the answer yes without having asked any clear question.
Hey, don't forget we leave at first light, so get some rest.
Yes, sir.
Throughout the narrative, characters face various enemies and friends, overcome many violent and stealthy challenges, and in the end are either alive, fictionally, or dead in our hearts. The player has a hand in moving these avatars, do they know they're in a video game? Through their fictional world. Is it a reflection of our own, our time, our struggles? And may interact when not narratively relevant.
Please stop!
The question of player agency arises from time to time with video games, a question that comes up now and then when it comes to interaction in digital mediums. Does the mountain question its agency when being eroded by the river, or does it sprout trees along the riverbanks to freshen the air? So then, are we the river or the trees? Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, how about that? Gross.
In conclusion, as disciples of suspension of disbelief are we all, and subjugators, or navigators, of cognitive dissociations and discords, we gamers are a happy few, a fortunate few, who repeatedly subject ourselves to the fancies and whims of myriad digital pioneers to live out the lives of others, often violently, sometimes sweetly, but never actually, and emerge on the other end unscathed, unchanged, and rarely moved. Perhaps the real ludonarrative dissonance is the friends we got killed along the way.
I have to finish it.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and smash that